All right, welcome to Effective CPQ Data Management. My name is Jason Runnels. I'm the CPQ Initiatives Director here at Apttus. And in my role, I have the pleasure of surveying customers about their challenging CPQ requirements. And as I've spoken with our customers, there tends to be common challenges related to CPQ data management. And they fall into three common areas. One has to do with multiple product data sources. And so traditionally, you're thinking about your product data that may have pricing information, for example, in an ERP system. So having integrations to ERP and CRM is certainly important, but adds to complexity. In speaking with manufacturing, often there's a set of product variability, engineering data from a product lifecycle management system, and so integrating PLM to CPQ becomes increasingly important as well. But that certainly adds to the challenges for CPQ data management. The second point is there's a complex network and relationships of that product knowledge and how the products are actually going to be consumed on an order or in a proposal. Customers might be looking for a simplified view or a window sticker view of a vehicle, for example, but then there's engineering knowledge and a more detailed set of instructions for how the products are actually going to be assembled and the order is going to be filled. When requirements around full spectrum CPQ become important and you have visions to actually digitize your products and combine products with services, with subscriptions, this challenge becomes even that much more complex. And finally, the third point that adds to the challenge of CPQ data management challenges is visualization. So the requirement for a customer to be able to actually confirm and see what it is that's being configured. And so what better way to do that than 3D visualization? So often with all of these challenges related to the product, what we find is that customers may be asking themselves, how do we end up in this situation with complexity around our CPQ system? So in today's session today, I'm going to be talking to the various panelists from Ola, from Siemens, Jensen Precast, and Engineering Intent to get their perspectives on strategies as well as technology that's going to address their CPQ data management challenges. So first we have Jan Frosvinge from Ola, got it right, or Elo is we would say in English. And so Jan joins us from Sweden. He is no stranger to the Bay Area. He's been started his career in San Francisco Bay Area. And so Ola is a manufacturer of front-end loaders that attach to farm equipment, and then they struggled with product complexity. So very interested, Jan, thank you for being here. Interested in your perspective on how integrating Apttus to PLM, such as Siemens Teamcenter, is important to your business.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Jason, for inviting me. I'm happy to be back in sunny California. Let me explain a little bit about the domain where Ola is represented. We are a manufacturing company in a business-to-business domain. We are selling to dealers, and we are then the farmer buys his tractor with our add-on loader from a dealer. We are in a complex market domain where we have a lot of, we build every loader to order, and every loader is customized, so it's individual customizations every single loader. We are having different packages of options for different markets, and they also differ between different markets, so it's a pretty complex packaging of the product. The product itself is as a market leader, we're investing a lot into the development and R&D of the loader. And we've recently gone into the digital arena with the loader. So the loader used to be a mechanical hydraulic design, and nowadays it also contains a CPU, so sensors, display. And that adds on a lot of complexity when customizing the loader and really understand how to assemble the loader to fulfill that need of that specific order. So anyhow, we decided to implement an Apttus CPQ and went live 1.5 years ago. The main use case of our CPQ implementation is really selecting from a vehicle which could be a farmer tractor, and then the characteristics of the tractor, like the wheel size and the exhaust pipe direction of the vehicle, etc., and answering questions, and finally grinding down to the product that is really the correct ones for this vehicle. And that also includes customizing the loader. You could select colors and hydraulic function and digital functions to the loader. So at the end of the journey in the shopping cart in the CPQ, we have the article codes of everything that is needed for that delivery to that specific tractor. On the engineering side at Ålö, we are, as I said, investing a lot, and we decided to use Team Center 4 years ago. And we are running all the engineering changes through Team Center. And these ECNs, the engineering change notices, are being pushed through Team Center to notify everybody involved in the company, like the factory or the purchase department. And we are passing or sending through more than 1,000 changes per year, a continuous flow of 5 changes per day.
And so a lot of those changes are dependent on the OEM tractors that you need to support.
Yes.
So that creates a scale problem for...
There could be various reasons for the ECN.
Okay.
But for sure, a couple of these ECNs will affect the configuration rules, and has to be rapidly conveyed into the CPQ engine. So when we decided on the Apttus CPQ already from day one, we wanted an integration. That was key for us, and the reasons for us looking for that integration was speed. To get we want to be the first guys on the market with suitable equipment for a brand new tractor, so we want to be really quick on getting the new products out and into the configurator. We want the quality to be right on the data in the configurator. And we think that's the best guys entering the data is, of course, the engineering department that has been working on the configurations.
Right.
Now the third factor is internal efficiency. We would like to avoid having data entry personnel just typing in data.
Okay.
So it's the speed, it's the quality, it's the efficiency in the process.
Thank you so much, Jan. So it sounds like having an integration to CPQ and integration is going to have some pretty dramatic business impacts around time to market and competitiveness as well as efficiency. Yep. Thank you. So moving on to our next panelist, we have Brian Grogan from Siemens PLM Software. Siemens provides product lifecycle management technology. I should also note that both of our customers on stage are using Siemens technology. So Brian, I'd like to get your perspective on what you see in the marketplace from your customer base in terms of the need to integrate CPQ to product lifecycle management technology.
Sure, thanks Jason. So first let me explain a little bit about what Siemens PLM does and then why we think this CPQ PLM integration is so important to our customers. So if you're not familiar with Siemens PLM's business, an easy way to understand the value we deliver to our customers is through a concept known as the digital twin, whereby we enable our customers to develop a comprehensive and precise model of their product, as well as the manufacturing processes that produce that product, as well as the performance of that product and service. And that digital twin really allows them to develop a very accurate understanding of how that new product or new process will look, feel, and perform in the real world, and therefore allow them to better drive innovation. And you can see some of the examples of the software we provide our customers to realize that. So engineering design and engineering analysis software, manufacturing process planning software, and manufacturing execution, and sort of underpinning all that is a PLM collaboration platform, which is the Team Center product that Jana referred to, as well as an IoT platform as well. How that ties into Apttus and CPQ really is in the managing of that product variability. So in order to enable a digital twin, we really have to be able to comprehend all the product variability that's going to be taken to market through a solution like Apttus. So obviously engineering has to be able to design within the context of that product variability, and then manufacturing process planning has to be able to account for all the product variation that's going to be coming down the manufacturing line. So really this ability to manage product variation is really important to our product strategy, and we have product configurator capabilities baked into our platform as a service, so it can be available to all our engineering and manufacturing applications. But we also have to make that available to business processes outside of PLM. So we have many customers like Jan who tell us that the definition of the product variability inside of PLM needs to be seamlessly orchestrated with that in CPQ, so that we can minimize the amount of time from when a product is released inside of the PLM system to when that's actually made available for sale with inside of CPQ. And so to that end, I'm pretty happy to announce that Siemens, PLM, and Apttus are entering into a partnership so that together we can help our customers realize that seamless orchestration between PLM and CPQ. And so maybe a few words about what that will provide to you guys, our customers, in terms of value. So first of all the product definition in PLM, including the product, its attributes, the values, and even the product configurator rules, will be automatically made available to Apttus so that we can minimize the amount of time it takes from product launch in PLM to availability in CPQ. The other thing that means is that CPQ data management can take advantage of some of the PLM capabilities, so versioning, effectivity, change management, and reuse. And at quotation time, Apttus will be able to leverage and call PLM on the back end when technical product configuration needs to happen. And that includes engineer-to-order applications where new designs have to be basically created within the proposal process so they can be estimated for the quote. And in those cases, Apttus will be able to actually leverage all this engineering software on the back end to automatically create new designs on the fly for the quote, along with all the technical assets. So 3D visualization models, sales quotation drawings, and technical data, all that will be generated and made available to the salesperson or the end customer via Apttus. So we think this has broad application to our mutual customer base. It's something we're quite excited about and hope to be able to share more with you all as this partnership develops.
All right, thank you, Brian. So we're absolutely excited and thrilled to be partnering with Siemens PLM software as well. And so definitely excited to see where the partnership leads us. Up next, we have Josh Meyer with Jensen Precast. He's the Vice President of Engineering. And so, Josh, your company really faces the full spectrum of product variability and complexity. And so I'd really like to understand from your perspective why tying your engineering system, Siemens RuleStream, to Apttus CPQ was important for your business.
Absolutely. Jason, thanks for having me and inviting me to my first Apttus Accelerate. I'm going to stand if you don't mind. So before I get to Jason's question about why it's important for us to have Siemens RuleStream capability tied to Apttus, I'll tell you a little bit about our company and our products and our challenges so you can understand the context of the answer. So Jensen Precast makes precast concrete structures. What you're looking at there on the screen, that black structure, is it's a piece of concrete. It's a block. We bury it under the ground. It doesn't look overly complex if you look at the physical product, but if you take a look at the renderings that were made from the CAD, you'll notice that there's quite a bit of reinforcings and embedded materials that go inside that concrete. So that's where our challenge is there's a lot of demand for customization of our products, and it's more so than the exterior shape, it's what goes inside the product. We have various site conditions, whether we're burying that under a place where there's foot traffic over top versus vehicular traffic over top versus a airplane. That's going to affect how much steel we're going to put in that structure. We also have various government agencies that have jurisdiction over where we bury these products, and they have different requirements. So we have kind of a mass customization problem. So that's one of our challenges. The other challenge that we have currently is we quote these structures ahead of engineering them. So it's a lot of energy and effort to engineer these structures by hand, so we don't do that at quote time. So our salespeople essentially are kind of deciding how much metal is going to go in that structure. That can create pricing inaccuracies, but the other challenge is really to our customers. When the customer says, yeah, I like your price, I want to go ahead and buy that product from you, they expect it to be delivered quickly. The problem for us is we haven't even started engineering it yet. So we needed a product where we could automate the engineering to bring that forward. We want to bring that forward into the sales process to, allow the sales user to do more of the customer needs analysis up front, get more accurate pricing, do some of the engineering, take that workload off the engineering team. So that's why we went with Siemens RuleStream product. So when we went on to CPQ, because we looked at what we were doing for our RuleStream and our vaults, which is what you're looking at there, we kind of had the ability to price our engineered to order products, but we're like, we need to do our configured to order products and our standard products, so we need a CPQ offering to complement the engineered to order offering. So we went through a CPQ selection, and what really led us to Apttus was we saw an opportunity for them to really tightly integrate with the RuleStream product that we already had and were already using. So we challenged Apttus and our services partner for RuleStream, Engineering Intent, to put a demo together for us to prove that what we were thinking, which is that we could use the power of Siemens RuleStream to design the product and the power of Apttus to price the product, and in harmony those would be able to support the full spectrum of the products that we offer at Jensen, and be able to really deliver one key element that Jason talked about was visualization. In order to pull some of that engineering work ahead into the hands of our sales team and our customers, we need a more compelling offering. They need visual feedback. Engineers are okay working with numbers on a spreadsheet, but salespeople and customers, need visual feedback. They need to see what's going on. So we think we made the right selection. We are actively implementing now, our launch date being in July. So interested to see where this goes, but we really think it can do a lot for us as a company and like I said, more accurate pricing, covering our engineered to order spectrum, and just delivering a lot for our customers and reduced frustration for our customers. So thanks again, guys.
Thank you, Josh. So again, on that note on the more accurate pricing, it's being able to have access to product information that might be from an engineering system, calculations, the cost of the material as well. So absolutely sounds like there's some pretty dramatic business benefits for tying those systems together. Thank you, Josh.
Absolutely.
So our final panelist is Scott Heide with Engineering Intent. So I would say that your company and your experience, you've seen quite a bit of complexity in your career.
Yeah.
Siemens partner, but really specialize in the most complex use cases that are out there. So Scott, if you could tell the audience a little bit about what your company does and some of the use cases that you see in the marketplace as well.
Thanks, Jason. So our company focuses on using tools like Brian described from Siemens PLM, some of our own tools and our services to help companies like Josh's to implement solutions like Josh just described. So we work together with companies that make engineered to order products to help them automate those engineered products to make them faster, easier to quote, and easier to deliver. So we have worked with a wide variety of companies. So you saw precast concrete. We've worked with elevator companies and escalator companies and companies that make custom windows and doors and companies that make custom airplanes and companies that make heat exchangers and HVAC equipment and power generation equipment and all sorts of a wide range of engineered products. We help them to capture the rules that drive the configuration of those products and automate the engineering design process. So one of the things that was interesting about working with Jensen is very typical. some companies have some engineered products, and then they have configured products. And Jensen was a case in point, where many of their customers could be handled, many of their products could be handled by the off-the-shelf CPQ solution offered by Apttus. And then for some of their products, we needed to dive in and do a more in-depth engineer-to-order automation solution like we do. And because of the, first of all, the technical APIs provided by Apttus that allowed us to make that tight integration, we were able to do that kind of technical integration. But just as important as that is that Apttus has a vision of bringing in the technologies that are necessary to solve their customers' problems, and they work together with us very closely from a business point of view as well to help solve this problem. So the solution we're providing provides advanced visualization for products that where, as Josh pointed out, we're seeing a picture of what you're going to buy, seeing a 3D model of it, or seeing a detailed drawing of it can be a very compelling part of that sales process. And so that's where we specialize, is in those extra geometry, 3D renderings, drawings, and so on to help with the visualization, graphical interaction that's needed in order to help configure and sell those products. And then on the more engineered to order products, we get involved in actually doing the detailed engineering that allows us to pull some parameters from the upfront CPQ system and then automatically design a product like what Josh was describing to you, a very complex product where a lot of engineering is required, geometry, CAD modeling, and so on. And then once that's complete, we can send back, the total bill of materials, the weights, the costs, the information that's needed to calculate the margin, and again, the graphical entities, the graphical things that help to sell that solution, pass it back up front so that it can be presented to your customer. Once that order comes in, then we can automate that solution to go all the way down into engineering, all the way down to manufacturing. So it can actually help the delivery part of your process as well, to speed up the engineering process, speed up the process of taking an order and getting it ready for your customer so that the throughput time is reduced, the amount of cost on the engineering side is reduced, and along the way, because it's all automated, the quality goes up, which in and of itself sometimes can justify the cost of these types of applications.
So Scott, is it fair to say then that a lot of what you specialize in is to supplement and have a higher fidelity amount of information required in the quote? So visualization is one aspect, generating the drawings and the bills of material, it sounds like, but that can go all the way down through manufacturing and order fulfillment as well.
Absolutely. Like you said, it includes those graphical things, but for a product like Josh's, just knowing the exact weight of the concrete is an important part of putting together that quote. And that's an engineered calculation. That's something that can't be done really easily. Okay. And so both graphical and engineering type of information is really valuable.
All right, very interesting. Okay, well, thanks everyone. We're approaching the time. So on the next slide, what I'd like to do is wrap up here. So you've heard various different strategies and use cases and how that can affect CPQ data management. And integration is certainly one of the key drivers of that. It can be a competitive strategy. So as Jan had pointed out, for time to market in his very competitive industry where the first one to introduce the products that are heavily engineered wins the business, being able to get access at that data from technology from Siemens is certainly an important driver. And as well as from a visualization and a bottleneck perspective, having more efficient processes in place so the burden no longer lies on the engineering organization to get quotes out the door, but also opens up the possibility of addressing the full spectrum of variability for for the client. So I will ask that come to us after the session, ask questions, pick our brains. If you think that you may have a variability problem or challenge, Scott and his team are experts in that area, as well as Brian from a software perspective. And also, of course, Jan and Josh, thank you guys so much for joining us and coming to Accelerate. Keep an eye out, please, for more information regarding the partnership between Apttus and Siemens. Thank you, everyone, for your time.